Hey y'all, this is Lydia. Happy full moon in Cancer. This is actually a Pisces ruled full moon. It'll perfect this evening at 16 degrees of Cancer, dealing with our intuition and our heart center and opening up to our heart center. And that's been a recurring theme that's been coming through is self-nurturing and allowing things to really marinate right now. And as you know, the theme has been for quite some time now. This is tied into Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde, which Mercury is going to be involved in this full moon as well, opposing the full moon. And this is on one hand about getting clear on the strategy and the ways of operating and the modalities we want to implement in the year ahead. On the other hand, this is also a spiritual cleansing that wants to take place. And a big part of this is really dialing up self-nurturing, especially as Mars is stopping to station direct, and to not get ourselves into an energy of frustration or setting ourselves up to being disappointed by having too many expectations about how things should be right now. This is an energy of release and allowing and surrender. And surrender is a big theme in 2023 in general. If you add the numbers of 2023, it adds to a 7, which is a Neptune ruled degree. And at the same time, there's just a lot of Neptunian energies activated throughout the year, with Saturn entering Pisces and activating Neptune, which is also in Pisces. And on one hand, really asking us to surrender to what wants to create through us, surrender to, the ways we want to live our lives and what's being asked of us in order to be in alignment and to be in tune with ourselves and in tune with our connection to our higher selves and our higher consciousness and God, the universe, however you want to term it. And at the same time, too, in order to navigate these Neptunian energies, which can be elusive, it can be trippy, it can be what's real and what isn't real, and what's true and what isn't true. In order to really be able to effectively navigate this year, this is a big energy of being in the present moment and being in tune with our intuition so that we can trust our bodies and trust what our bodies are telling us so that we can navigate energies, especially when we're feeling hazy, we feel like we don't have any clarity, in order to trust ourselves enough to dial back and be like, okay, well, perhaps it's not time right now. And this full moon in Cancer, especially on Sirius, the fixed star Sirius, it's a wide orb, but it does hit. Sirius is a star of stewardship and being a steward of our own intuition and our own emotional waters and understanding what we need to be in balance. So again, this is a big energy of dialing back and self-nurturing and surrendering to what wants to be right now and to be honoring the energies and not trying to force anything. And again, Mars is stopping. This can be very frustrating if we're feeling this expectation of, well, things need to be different because it's a new year, or I need to hit the ground running because it's time. There really isn't time right now with Mars so slow and all these really intuitive energies activated in the Neptunian year. We're beginning this year with a cleansing. We're beginning this year with integration and things coming together so that when the energy's thaw and it's time to move forward, we're ready to rock. But it can require some trust. This is the energies of stillness and really going within, and also paying attention to the discomforts, because the discomforts are giving us information about what is releasing, which is always the case, but especially right now. Any sort of, if we have our sense of direction and we have our sense of this is the direction I want to take, the universe starts to conspire with ourselves and our lives and the energies in order to get us in that path and to get us to move forward in the ways that we are meant to move forward in our highest alignment so that we can see our manifestations through. So a big part of that is, things will come up in our reality and things will come up in our experiences for us to address so we can release and let go and really move forward with less weight, less density. And again, this can come in the form of things feeling dense, feeling heavy. So pay attention to insecurities coming up. Pay attention to how you're being frustrated, or if any sort of discomfort in terms of, recurring themes of dark thoughts or, blocks and things that hinder you from that expansive energy. That's for us to look at. If you're not feeling expansive right now and things are coming in that are making you feel contracted, that's for us to observe and to look at so we can see more light there and see more love there so those energies can release. That 16 degrees is a Pisces rules degree of this full moon, which is releasing. Again, Sirius is there with stewardship and Mercury is opposing it, which is, Capricorn is also where Pluto is. This is about also uncovering things that just can't come along. And after this full moon, Mercury will cazimi the sun, and this is our higher consciousness and massive downloads that want to come in. And it's a beautiful time to really be still and be in our internal sphere so we can get those downloads and we can get the information. And while it's not necessarily time to move forward, out the gate, it is time to pay attention and perhaps even journal and get clear on, okay, this is what I'm feeling releasing. This is where I'm feeling I want to go. And to set those intentions so that we can move forward in the year. And full moons really isn't an intention setting time, but it is a time of destruction. Full moons is destructive energy. So if we're journaling and we're getting clear on things, it's also allowing things to come up so that they can be destroyed or they can be released or they can be cleared. Because again, we have that spiritual cleansing energy. I'm going to pull a card from the Animal Spirit Oracle deck. And at the bottom, for the pre-shuffle, we have the oyster, which is our inner gem. It is our talents that perhaps people don't know about, and perhaps we don't know about ourselves. And I'm getting to that with this destruction energy, with this energy of release, we can also be uncovering things that have been hidden to us before and information coming in that seem obvious. And we might wonder, well, why didn't I know that before? It's divine timing. This information coming in is divine timing because it's time for it to activate. It's time for things to start clicking into place so that we can use these tools and these spiritual tools coming online. So pay attention to information coming in, hidden gems. And again, if you're caught up in expectations and how things are supposed to look right now, you might be too caught up in disappointment to even see this. So this is about letting go of expectations and allowing things to be revealed as well. But let's pull a card and see what the cards have to say to round this off. Okay, this wanted to pop out 3 cards. So we have the Stingray, which is building confidence over time, building confidence by stepping out and really learning as we go. And you can see there's the chakras here, and the Stingray doesn't really have a strong spine. So this is about building the strength in the spine and the confidence through practice, through stepping out. But again, this is an energy of stepping out in big ways. This is really practical, small micro steps. And that's another thing that I recommend with journaling as well. What micro steps you can take for things to click into place and to make things more efficient and easier for yourself. And this is a reductive energy too. And this reductive energy is making things simpler, making things easier for ourselves, but at the same time, perhaps having a bigger impact. For me, I got the download with my health, and I've heard about the Bean protocol before, and I'm getting the download again. It's a re-download of the Bean protocol and how, it's going to save me a lot of money and a lot of effort to do the Bean protocol. And it'll also check off a lot of boxes for me and what I want to do with my health. And so that's something I want to implement. Is it time to hit the ground running and to go hard on the Bean protocol now? No, but I got the download and I'm ready to take those baby steps to start implementing it in small ways so that when the energy expands and thaws into spring, it's full force and I'm ready to go. And so we also have the hawk here and the sea serpent, which is our felt experience giving us information, our bodies giving us information, and things wanting to express through us. And the hawk is about getting higher, getting above the density so that we can see clearly. And the sea serpent is about, letting ourselves express freely and not getting too, caught up in these dense energies that might block our free expression or block information coming in that wants to come in very freely. By getting too caught up again in expectations, this is about letting things be and also observing things for what they are. It is what it is energy. This isn't about judging it or trying to make something of it or trying to interpret anything. It's about observing without bias and just being like, okay, it is what it is. What can I do to really get things, this density off of me so that I can express freely and I can be in my emotional waters and allow things to flow freely. And not trying to do anything, but again, that reductive energy of stripping things away that might be slowing things down in our energetic system so that they can move freely. And this comes from observing, our disappointments, observing our insecurities, and observing what, makes us feel weak, what makes us feel like we don't have the strength to move forward. And big part of this release is, it sounds counterintuitive, but just acknowledging where we feel weak. And putting our awareness on when we feel weak and not judging it, not saying, well, I need to fix this now. Just being honest with ourselves. What it is, And I'm going to be open to solutions coming my way exactly when they're meant to, and things clicking into place exactly when they're meant to, and honoring these Neptunian energies of 2023, of really listening to what wants to come through us, listening to the directions that our heart wants to face, and not trying to force fit anything, but allowing these creative energies to work for us in really magical ways without being too much in this energy, well, I have to force things through, or I have to force myself to make these big changes. The changes will happen when we surrender to what is asking for change, and to really take those baby steps and be easygoing in this process, and not necessarily, torturing ourselves, but allowing things to happen for us. So I hope this message resonates. I'm sending love and wishing you well. Bye.